Hello friends, welcome to my channel. Today I'll share with you how to create and publish Flutter plugin for Android. So what is plugin? It's an independent piece of software that is designed to perform some specific task. In the case of Flutter, this plugin can perform some platform specific functionalities like accessing hardware components such as camera, GPS, uninstalling other applications or reading sensor data. Once this plugin is created, it can be consumed by any application that needs this functionality. So the next question is, why do we need plugin in Flutter? The Flutter applications are built using Dart programming language, and with that it comes with certain limitations. One of which is it cannot directly access platform specific functionalities. So in order to bridge this gap between Flutter applications and platform specific functionalities, we need plugin. Okay, for this purpose of this video, I'll be creating one plugin which is app uninstaller, which I have recently published to pub.dev. Let me open it for you. So this is the plugin, and what it does is, if in your application there's a requirement to uninstall other applications through your app, then that is where you can use this plugin. Okay, now let's start writing some code for this plugin. So for that, first we need to open Android Studio, and we'll be using this editor because it's the suggested editor for creating Flutter plugin for Android. Here let's first select start new Flutter project, and here we can select Flutter plugin template. Here we'll give some of the details like name, description and the folder path for this plugin. Here you can see by default Kotlin has been selected. So if you want to use Java instead of Kotlin, you can just uncheck this option and click finish button. Okay, this is the default folder structure that has been created for us. Here you can see there are many folders, but from those folders we are interested only in three folders. One is Android, example and leaf folders. Inside Android folder we have the file Kotlin file, in which we'll be writing the functionality that is specific to our plugin, because it's Kotlin through which we are going to access platform specific functionalities or the hardware components. So once we write this plugin specific functionalities, we are going to expose those functionalities through this Dart file. So this file, it serves the purpose of interface between the external applications and the platform specific functionalities that is written in Kotlin file. After we are done with exposing the APIs, we are going to go inside this example folder. Here we'll be writing the test application. We'll basically be creating the test application through which we are going to test our plugin functionality. Okay, so by the end of this video, we'll have an application that looks something like this. Here, when user clicks uninstall button, he will be presented with two options. Either he can continue or cancel the uninstallation process. When user clicks cancel, he will be presented with the message saying the cancelled by user, else the message will be successfully uninstalled. Okay, now since we have the basic understanding about the folder structure and the different files that we need to change, now let's start writing code for plugin functionality. And for that, we need to go inside Kotlin file which is present in Android folder. Okay, by default, we don't get some of the editor functionalities like IntelliSense support and debugging facilities. So in order to get those functionalities, we need to click this option, which is open for editing in Android Studio. Okay, inside this file, there's one method which is on method call. So this method is the entry point for our plugin functionality, and most of the changes that is related to our plugin will be writing inside this method. Here you can see by default this Flutter plugin template has provided us one plugin implementation, which is get platform version. So we'll start making changes to this implementation. First, let's rename it to uninstall. Let's also declare some variables that we are going to use later. Okay, so what we'll be doing inside this method is we'll start one activity, and inside that activity we'll pass an intent object of type intent.actionDelete. We also need to pass some parameters like the package name of an application that we want to uninstall to this intent object. Okay, let's also set this flag option to indicate that we want to show this activity in front of all the screens that we have in the device. And let pass some extra parameter to indicate that we are expecting some result from this activity. Let me open this demo app once again. Here you can see when user clicks uninstall button, he will be presented with two options. Either he can click cancel or he can click OK to continue the uninstallation. So in order to receive this action in the activity from the activity, we need to implement some methods from these two classes. Okay, so these are all the methods that we have implemented, and from these methods, let's first go inside on attach to activity method. Here we are going to initialize our activity variable, and we are also going to listen to the activity result using this method. After this, let's go inside on activity result method. This method gets called once user performs some action. Whether he clicks cancel or OK, this method will get called. Here you can see there are a few parameters like request code, result code, and data. And from these parameters, we are mainly interested in data because when user clicks cancel, the value for this data will be null, else there will be some value in it. So depending upon this value, we can return either true or false. True will indicate that the user continued with the uninstallation process, and cancel to indicate that user cancelled the uninstallation process. So now we are done with writing this plugin functionality. Now we need to write some APIs to expose those functionalities to the external application. And for that we need to write some code inside this Dart file. Okay, what we are doing here is we are basically invoking the channel method, which is uninstall, and passing the parameter, which is the package name of the application that we want to uninstall. I've also changed the return type to boolean from string because it's the boolean value that we are returning from the plugin functionality that we have just written in the Kotlin file. So once this API is completed, we can go inside the example folder. Here we can write the code for the test application that we are going to build today. Okay, since we have exposed our API as method of app uninstaller class, so this is how we are going to use this plugin in our application by calling app uninstaller.uninstall app with this package name. And this package, it belongs to this application, test application, which you can see in this device. So by the end of this video, when user clicks uninstall button, he will internally be uninstalling this test application. Okay, now let's run this application. So here you can see we have the test application as expected. As I have said earlier, by default we don't get the debugging functionality for this Kotlin file or the code that we have written for plugin implementation. As you can see, when I click uninstall button, this debugger won't get hit. So in order to get this debugging functionality, we need to click this option, open for editing in Android Studio. Okay, now let's run this application in debug mode. So now when I click this uninstall option, okay, let me first put debugger here. Now when I click this uninstall button, you can see the debugger is being hit here. So this is how we are going to debug this plugin functionality in Kotlin file. Okay, now let's click OK. So here we have the message that it's successfully uninstalled. Now to verify if this application has been uninstalled, let's check if that test application has been removed. So here you can see the test application which was here before, it has been gone as expected. Okay, now since we are done with writing our plugin functionality, let's now start preparing for publishing. For that, we need to make changes inside few files like pubspec.yml, readme.md, changelog.md, and the license file. Inside license file, you'll be giving the information related to your licensing policy. So now let's go to pubspec.yml file. Here you will give the details that is related to your plugin, like the plugin name, description, the version, and the homepage details. In this homepage parameter, you'll be giving the link of your GitHub repository where you'll be checking in the code for this plugin. So when I open this plugin page in pub.dev, you can see this plugin has been linked to GitHub repository, which is shown here. So when I click this repository, it will take me to this GitHub repository page. Here you can see all the code that I have written for this plugin. Inside this changelog.md file, you'll be writing the details that is related to this release of plugin. Inside this readme.md file, we'll be writing all the details that is shown in the readme section of this plugin, like the getting started and other details related to the plugin. And in order to write this readme page, there are some specific formats that we have to follow. In order to get the idea about these formats, you can go to any plugin that is hosted in pub.dev and look into the readme file out there. The next task is to check in the code that you have written for this plugin to your GitHub repository, because we want our code and the plugin that we have hosted in pub.dev to be in sync. So all the code that we have written for this plugin you can find in this URL, which I have also pasted in the description below. Now the final task is to publish our plugin to pub.dev. And for that, first we need to run a dry test using this command. This command will check and verify if there's some issue in the plugin. It also checks various configuration related details like the version number, etc. So after we get the success message, we can proceed with the publishing. Here we got the message that says package has 0 warnings. Now we can finally publish our plugin to pub.dev. For that, we need to run this command. Okay, this is the command. So here you can see we have successfully published our plugin. Now if we open the app uninstaller plugin in the pub.dev, you can see the version has been updated to 0.4.1. So this is how we can create and publish the plugin to pub.dev, which after that can be used by any application that wants to consume this functionality. So guys, this was for today, and if you have liked this video or if this video has helped you in any way, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel.